people matter. The physical people matter more than the online people. If you being with someone physically matters more than being with them digitally, because we crave human connection, and we get a slice of it through FaceTime, through that stuff. But there's nothing quite like being around someone and hanging out and being able to hug them or shake hands or high five or anything like that.
You are the director of your own life. This is Keeping It Real Podcast. I am Tommy Kenyon. You can find me everywhere at Tommy Kenyon 7. I like to chat with filmmakers, people in film, the digital world, and anyone who's an enthusiast of AI. I'd like to chat with you today about the ever-increasing speed of AI and technology. Let's get on with the show. 7 phone habits that are quietly destroying your relationships in 2025. I have some questions here to discuss and talk about with my friend Darien. Welcome back, second time. How have you been going?
Been going good. Just working and living, man. What about you?
Some things. Beautiful year. You would, for me anyway. In a normal sense, you wouldn't say it was a beautiful year, but just everything that happened in an overall combination of the year, it's just been beautiful.
Good. That's good to hear.
Job maybe, but things are happening for me, and I can see things in the future. Just take it one day at a time.
That's all you can do, really. So good to hear. Yeah, I remember hearing about that stuff going on, and it's been a heck of a year. I'll agree with that. It's been crazy. But I agree. It's been getting better, and things come rolling at you. But as long as you stay on your toes, it goes okay.
So I'm grateful. I appreciate you coming back on to talk with me again. And you said something before. I got excited. Should I be surprised? No, but what are you excited about today?
Oh, what am I excited about today? Well,
yeah.
Today I actually took the day off work, and I was just planning on going to see my mom, but it worked out that I was able to chat with you a bit. My mom lives like 45 minutes away or something, but the kids never want to go to her house, and it's a whole thing. So I try to take some time off and go hang out with her and that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that, but I don't have snow tires on at the moment, so I just have my summer tires. So I don't know if you're familiar. When winter hits, we either put on tires with little metal studs in them, helps keeps the traction. But mine were too old. They were too old and cracked that the auto shop just refused to put them on. So I just have my summer tires, which do not grip as well. So whether or not I actually want to drive out and do that, I'm not 100% sure yet, because it's slick. So yeah, that's either way. If I don't go out, I'll give her a call and we'll chat for however long. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Snowed in, watching content or streaming live on YouTube, but a lot of good ways you can go with that. And how much snow is forecasted this week or today? There's a lot of snow?
I have no idea. I don't usually check the weather at all. But if I check the weather right now, snow's forecasted for the next hour. So maybe a couple inches. I don't know. I'll see when it stops.
And maybe like do a FaceTime or something. But that's what we're gonna get into, like relationships and how we can be more present in relationships, whether you're virtual on FaceTime or in person when it's a little better weather.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna get right into again the first thing I have in dealing with kids and everything. I'm gonna bring it up right here. Just looking down. First one, what does your future kid, for anyone out in the audience, needs to know for you actually see most of the day? Your eyes or the back of your phone?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, personally, I would say that a year ago, 2 years ago, they saw the phone a lot. Um, but lately, I've been working on not using the phone as much at all, if possible. But it's still, I think the hardest part is the texting, because we're so used to texting our friends. When a text comes in, it's not, it doesn't feel like an interruption anymore. It doesn't seem like it's a distraction because we're just texting. We're just like having a little conversation. But it's still, you still pick it up. It's still a break from eye contact from someone else, even if it's your kid or your friend or whatever. And it still takes you out of the conversation. So I think that's the main thing. The only thing that I really have a problem with that at the moment is just texting itself, because that's still, the kid still sees that, and they may not actively think it, but it could still be on their idea that, oh, I was talking, but dad got a text, and the text is more important than what I was saying. So it's just something that I try to think about.
Yeah, just
What about you?
yeah, definitely. I would say prioritize it in person, but like unless they're across town or you're snowed in or something, or anything like that. But I'd say a good alternative to sometimes I don't like the text. I'm not big on calling either, but I prefer text over
Yeah.
calling. But one thing I don't do this as much as I would maybe like to, but a good audio message or a video message instead of
Mm.
typing in the text
Hmm.
is the next best thing if you can't be in person. Is you may be hearing, seeing, and hearing something instead of just
Yeah.
text on the screen. What are your thoughts on video messages,
I mean,
audio messages?
I like them. The only I it's just, texting is so easy compared to actually like talking out loud or anything. But those are, I would say, better, because with a text you can take it anyway. It could be, you could text so happily like, I have a great day, but the other person could be in a terrible mood and see it as, oh, you know have a great day. Like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, I'll try to have a great day. Um, but with voice, it's obvious how, the inflection, the yes, really have a good day, instead of however they want to take it. So I don't do it that much, just because usually not like I'm usually around people, or I just need to send a quick text. I also don't really talk to a lot of people. I have like two people I text regularly, so I don't really do it that much. But I
But
imagine you talk to a lot of people. Do you prefer? I mean, you said you do like the text instead of in the voice text. Do you find yourself doing one more than the other?
I like when it comes to I make a lot of calls like when it comes to phone wise, it's FaceTime audio. Sometimes you like, video too, and do
Hmm.
the live, not just recording and send, but live FaceTime. And I use that like from the Mac or from the phone or whatever, and I tend to do that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. The only people I talk to, uh, my mom, for example, she doesn't have an iPhone, so I don't even know if FaceTime would work with her. Um, so otherwise, I just see her when I can.
All right, let's get to the next one here because we have seven and plus some three other questions that I came up before this. The next one, next thought: when the phone is just sitting on the table, who's really in control of the conversation? Like when I'm thinking, I'm just down here a second. It's sitting face down on the table like that. What do you think is better, that or away in the pocket?
Well, I'll ask you a question. If you hear your text go off, are you going to pick it up and check it? I mean, if the answer is yeah, I got a text, then it's obvious the phone is in control of the conversation.
And my thought, I heard this is it's not my original thought either. So someone who I picked up this idea. If it's on the table in front of you, it's still the phone is in your
Mm,
presence of mind still. It's in top of mind. It's not the other person. So if you
hmm
get a text, maybe it's on do not disturb, then you won't hear it. But you get a text,
Yeah,
it's on the phone, you're gonna pick it up and look at it and forget the other person in front of you.
yeah, exactly. Unless you have like the beforehand of I am not going to pick up my phone because we're having this conversation. But if you don't have that sort of instruction in your head already, then as soon as you get a text, you're going to look at it and there's a disconnect.
But I am gonna be remiss if I don't mention that I am using the phone for another reason.
Yeah.
I'm talking into the phone, but it's a
hmm
microphone.
See, yeah, I mean, it's a useful tool in that aspect. It's not
So
distracting; it's adding to it.
it's depend on how you use the tool.
hmm Yeah, which we could talk about the AI aspect. It depends on how you use the tool, or if the tool uses you.
All right. Next one. If you had to put your phone in another room every time you ate with someone you love, how often would it actually leave your hand? And these questions were just brought up by AI. I didn't edit them. But it's
Mm.
just good random questions. Help me come up with some questions to AI.
Well, I hope concerning the question itself, I hope that if you do decide to put your phone somewhere else when it's time to eat or something, it would leave your hand every single time. 'Cause, I mean, that would defeat the purpose. If you weren't able to put your phone down in the other room, then that's an obvious, indication that there's a problem there. If you can't make the choice and stick to the choice, then it's clear that the phone is an issue for you. And just
Mm,
specifically with that question, what do you say? What about you? Do you think you'd have a problem with it?
going back over because it's a long question. Without once checking the time or notification. Last time you had a full conversation. Oh, that's a new question. I I teased the next question. You had to put your phone in another room every time you ate with someone you love. How often would you actually leave your hand?
What do you think?
Me personally, I would leave it charging on my desk or somewhere in another room. I often do this, and I don't know if this is another question coming up, but I often will leave the house without my phone too. I don't know.
Hmm.
So I like to, while we still can, I guess I like to say that while we still can separate the
Right.
phone from us, that may not be possible in the future. I don't know. Still remains to be seen with that. But while we still can, grateful that I can leave the phone behind and just go out and be me out in the world. But to leave the phone in another room, I it's
Sounds like
pretty
you'd be able
easy
to
for
do
me
it.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me to do. Now, maybe 5 years ago it was a little harder. I since then
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
a
when
lot
they're
of
still
stuff.
kinda new and exciting and all that jazz.
hmm So, like, I teased this next question coming up, but I'm gonna go over it now. When's the last time you had a full conversation without once checking the time or a notification?
Oft I mean, for me, often. I mean, I talk to the wife at home all the time, at work, it comes up a lot where like I said, I'm not on my phone. I don't text anybody. Uh, and so it happens often for me. What about you? Do you find that it's a problem? Like, do you find yourself checking it? It sounds like you already have a good disconnect from it.
If I'm away from it, obviously that's way easy because I don't have it. I sometimes I'll feel for it, it's but I opt if it's in my pocket, I'll like reach. See how many times would I go for the pocket? The phone? Maybe 5, 10 times a day. I'll reach out for and like just check like for a notification somewhere
Hmm.
and see what's going on. Update 5, 10 times a day.
Yeah, I mean that sounds normal. But do you find yourself having that issue when you're having a conversation with someone? Like you're like all of a sudden you're automatically reaching for it, but you didn't really think about it. It's just like, oh, I wonder if I have a text, that sort of thing. Or do you find yourself able to focus on the conversation?
I I can usually focus on the conversation, but when I'm stumped on something and I want to like go and use the internet
Mm.
fingertips, I'll pull that out. I'll do the search, and I'll get sucked into something else at that point.
Yeah.
Then I'll get distracted. Distractions everywhere. Like before the phones, I heard something like ended before it's even internet. We would come across about 10,000 pieces of communication a day, and
Mm.
now it's like probably 10 or 100x that
Ugh,
phones
yeah.
and internet. So it's been just a crazy amount. So talking about and these are just good. Yeah, they're AI data, but these are good stuff to keep peace of mind, thinking top of mind. Good questions to bring up. So here's another thought here. Notification, I did that one already. Quick test. Can you remember what color eyes the last person you had coffee with has?
Yeah, I thought about that. Brown. Uh, yeah, it was a guy I sort of met through work. He works for a customer of ours, and him and I hit it up really well. So we chat a lot, and then we went out to coffee. Brown. What about you?
I do a lot more, not like close to in person. So
Like virtual?
if I'd have to, I
Well, still, I mean that
maybe
counts.
Brown too. Like it was a live podcast that I
Yeah,
did the other day.
you do
So
a lot of live stuff. I mean,
I was calling that a coffee chat.
yeah.
He may have been having coffee. I don't know. Maybe not. Is it
If
one?
you,
I think so.
it'll still count if you have like a little coffee sticker in the background. It still counts.
Does this count?
Yeah. See, hey,
That's
I got mine too.
not a
Some iced
sponsor.
coffee
Not a
here.
sponsor. All right.
Right.
So that's a nice little test there. Ooh. If your phone died right now and stayed dead for 24 hours, would you feel freed up or panicky?
Freed up. I mean, at the moment, the only thing I like the phones for is just, when my wife is out with the kids, I like to have that, uh, just in case, something happens. That is awesome that phones provide. But otherwise, I would not care. I would not care if my phone died. What about you? I mean, you do a lot online stuff, so I imagine if your phone died, it'd be a little disruptive for kind of your work.
Here's the beauty of the synchronization, and yeah, I do want to go away from the iPhone and go back to like Samsung and Android because I am a techie and techies need the Androids more than iPhone. But I do have a Mac and iPad, and I'm not going away from the Mac. So if you're on iOS with me at all, you'll still be on iOS with me. And if my phone died, I can charge it up. It could be turned off, turned down. I can get on my Mac and still have everything I ever need on my computer, and it's all synced. So it wouldn't phase me one bit.
It's almost like the computer is turning into like a large phone in that case. Because I mean, I know that Macs have like the iMessage and you can FaceTime and everything like that.
Mhm.
So, what I'll change the question. How would you feel if both your phone and your laptop died for 24 hours? Would you feel freed up, like I don't have to work today, or would it give you a sense of like, oh shoot?
And in that case, I would find something to do. I can be resourceful, or in two situations that way, or I may panic because kind of like helping to find work or jobs, whatever, and editing. You're like, what do I do to make money now?
Yeah. No, I mean, makes total sense.
Yeah, thanks for the comment. If you're still there, that it's actually a virtual. I'm in a coffee shop right now. Let me stop there a minute. I'm just responding to a comment here. I show you real quick. Where I'm actually at is quite boring. But let's see. There I am. Oh, it's dark.
You're in the void.
Back room. I say the back room of a coffee shop.
Mm, the back rooms.
Business goes down. Oh, that's a different background. Leave that one up. Change it up. Change the background up. But yeah, thanks for the comment. Thanks for coming up. Thank you. And keep be subscribed. Thank you for that. And look to connect sooner. Get back to these questions here. We had a test. We had the phone died. Be honest. Next thought. Are you using the phone to avoid the silence, small talk, or the big feelings? Thoughts about that?
I mean, definitely the big feelings. That's as I've gotten away from them and have had to face the big feelings. It's clear that they're an easy distraction. If you're having a bad day, screw it. You don't have to think. You can just pull up TikTok and then just scroll on it for a couple hours and then go to bed. And you didn't have to think about, your best friend yelling at you today. But the problem with that is that tomorrow you'll still be thinking about it. And if you distract yourself more, the next day you'll still be thinking about it. So until you face it, then it'll hound you. What do you think we do? Do you think are are you using the phone to dodge the silence? or the big feelings? Do you find
I
yourself when you're
often
let me rephrase it, when you're having a bad day, do you find yourself going towards your phone more, or do you find yourself thinking about the bad day and working through it?
I use the phone for like if you look at my social media feed and I hear everyone that says social media has been like such a drain or a negative experience. But if you look at my social media feed, you look at my device usage. I'm especially when I'm feeling down or like less inspired, I look to something to lift me back up. I'll listen to a podcast, Leah Zal's School of Greatness. I'll get on here and talk live with someone like you, like what I'm doing now, and just talking, connecting, even if we're 3 hour difference in from Alaska to Texas.
Mm, see,
And
that's good.
I use that to what's the question? To stop the silence.
Yeah,
I
to
use it
dodge the
to
silence.
dodge or stop the silence and to put like good thoughts in my head. I'll curate my feed for positive vibes on social media. My social media is very uplifting. And my YouTube, I'll get on YouTube, watch an inspirational thing or something like that, and for an uplifting thought.
That's good.
So that's what it
I mean,
can be.
yeah, that's a healthy way you can use it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you feel like that's something that
distractions.
you had to cultivate, or was it something that's always been like that? If you think back, was there like, a dark period where you really were using social media to avoid the feelings that you had, or have you always kind of had it as an uplifting thing?
There definitely could have been.
Hmm. Because
2015,
I'm the same way too.
2016, it could have been very dark, but if I wouldn't introduce to the School of Greatness, my first ever podcast, if I wouldn't introduce to that, most definitely,
Hmm.
I would have like been going down that spiral path like a lot of other people. Most definitely. And I don't, so because of that, I haven't, there's been a time right before it's 2005 to 2015. But 2015 was when it really got like edgy when they tweaked the algorithms 2015, 2016, and that's when problems really started. But before then, 10 years before then, it was just it was different than it was, I would say.
Yeah. When it was still fairly fresh and new, it wasn't as traumatizing as it is now. I mean,
Hmm.
I've noticed that social media was negatively impacting myself, which is one of the reasons why I cut it out from my life. I mean, I have Instagram only to schedule my tattoos. Otherwise, I don't use anything anymore.
All right, so that's the 7 ways that
The
oh,
seven
it's right
phone
up here.
habits that are
7 phone
quietly
habits.
destroying. Yeah.
If I look in this direct spot. 7. Now I have some bonus questions here. We can go some. Thank you for again taking a little bit of time, and hopefully you can go and just connect with mom, get maybe the kids on the FaceTime with grandma. So, like, we're gonna go into this here. What happens when your kids use the back of your phone most. Has that ever happened to you? You may have it may have been like a rehash, but these are the questions that I actually thought of myself these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then I think you also mentioned wanting to like chat about AI a little bit too, if you wanted to go into that. Um,
Oh yeah, there's a lot to
yeah,
talk about with AI too.
yeah, that would be fun conversation. But to answer that question, you know, it has been my phone a lot, and like I said, lately I've been like for the past year or more, I've been working on not using it so much around them, just because I understand that they're young. It's important that they have my attention. Um, so it used to be a lot, not so much now. I hope. What happens when your kid sees the back of the phone? To answer that question, what happens is that your kid learns unconsciously that the phone is more important than them. If you're always on your phone and not paying attention or answering questions or doing stuff with them, then it's pretty obvious.
So like it would be like if I reach, thank it's a protection here for that, but I put the phone blocking my face up here, and that's all you see. Or
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we've all had situations where we're talking with someone and all of a sudden they break out their phone and it's like you're not talking to them anymore, right? Like they break out their phone and you're still talking, but it doesn't seem like they're fully listening and they're like, "Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah." I'm sure we've all had situations like that. And all we need to do is just think about how that's made us feel.
what would like be your urge like when you see that happening? Like, is there you want to ask that of someone, or like what would you ask, or like the urge to do like, hey, I thought we were talking, something like that. What would be your urge?
Uh, usually usually I just shut up. If
Okay,
I
something came
value
up.
I value the attention. If I give attention, and so if someone breaks their attention with me and focuses on something else and I don't think they're really listening to what I'm saying, then I will stop wasting my energy. I'll wait until they're done and then I'll continue talking. Like that's what I would do in situations like that.
So and maybe like something came up your text, it's an emergency. I would hope that they excuse themselves that,
Yeah,
"Oh, I have to take this," or something, and
yeah,
that's totally
absolutely.
fine. That's acceptable. That's
Totally.
understandable.
There are
Yeah,
times like that when it is something, but usually if it is something, they do, like you said, they do say something about it.
yeah. Any respectable person would give that grace. All right. So the next of these last like three here, wrapping up the phone habit thing. When you place the phone on the table, going back to that,
Mhm.
it's still top of mind. Put in your pocket, back up here to be more present. Where can I go with this? I know we talked a lot about this. This is actually the repeat of the AI generated question.
I think the problem with that is that even when it's away from us, we still think about it, you know? It's so ingrained in our lives now that even when you had the phone on the wall or on the desk or something, it was there. It was always there. If someone needed you, it rang. You could hear it from
Mhm.
anywhere in the house, right? With the phones, we have them on silent, we have them on vibrate. So if someone texts us, we have to check it. We have to think, "Oh, I got to check my phone, see if I got a text, make sure I'm not ignoring someone." And obviously, if it's on loud, you get it. But mine's on silent all the time, just because I I don't you know I don't have anyone doing anything like that. Uh, so I would think, I'm thinking about it when I put it down. If I walk by, I check it, that sort of thing. So I think that's the problem, is that we're always thinking about it. Even if it's on the table, it's still in the mind, because as soon as we get up and walk towards it, we want to check it.
And I got a new one that came up these last 2 years or so. When you have to think about telemarketers
Mm,
calling, a new thing that comes up now, and I think it's changing the way we actually use the phone. Um, and because of that, I'm in a text first mentality. Text me first, and then we can talk, and then we can connect further. Text me first, let me know you're there.
yeah.
But like, we get so many where you like, that it's the data breaches, people selling your information, and your information is out there, and now you're getting phone calls every day, every hour,
Hmm.
and we turn on that silence unknown number. So if it's an unknown number, it doesn't even ring your phone, whether it's silent or not. So that's changing the phone mentality to text first, and actually not talking on the phone first. Did you get a lot of that, or what's your experience with telemarketers silencing calls?
Oh, I get a lot at the moment. Just because of I'll just say, just because of decisions I've made. Yeah, I get a lot of spam calls at the moment. Really annoying. I block a lot of them, but they can just keep calling because they can make up random numbers with software now. Um, so that's part of why it's on silent, I would say. But I've had my phone on silent for years now. It's just always on silent. Uh,
So do
just because
you turn everyone on silent every call, or were you familiar with the silence unknown numbers?
I was not. I was not. The problem is that in my case, they're not it doesn't say unknown. It's just
Mhm.
the number. So I don't know if
Well,
that kind
unknown
of.
being there's
Oh,
no name associated with the number. It's just a number that pops
oh,
up. That's an unknown number.
okay. Oh, I didn't know.
So if you don't have a name, or if it's not in your contacts, it'll
Mhm.
silence that call, and then if you have context, then you'll continue to hear the call. But
No, I didn't know
if
that was
you
a feature.
like having just the phone silence to begin with, then that works too.
Mm,
But
hmm.
and we're in a text first. So that it's interesting. We're in that phase for the last 2 years, and it's
Yeah,
strange
no
when
one
you're
no one
calling.
calls anymore.
Yeah, when you're calling a company and say what number you calling back from, then they call back from a different number, and then that phone call gets silenced. Like, I have to add it to my contacts or turn off the feature so I can hear your call coming. So last of the questions, then we can get to AI uses.
Yeah.
There's a time and place. When is a good time for phone lookup, research, studying, and when is time for face to face? That's a good
I mean,
question, actually.
that's an easy question. It's time for face to face when you're face to face with someone. I mean, if you're sitting at home alone, then shoot, man, that's a good time for phone research. But if you go to a coffee shop and you're talking to someone, it's a good time for face to face.
Yeah, it would be fun if I just
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Oh, you mentioned that statistic. I gotta look it up and see if that statistic is right or not right now.
Or sometimes, and I'm guilty of this too, I'll move over my screen tab and I'll do the research as I'm still talking, but I'm looking down at my screen
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. See,
see the top of my head.
I think to go with the phone still. I think that's another thing that's kind of just got us into a habit is that we can since we can so easily look up a question now. We don't feel we need to wait, and I think that can add to the issue is that we don't feel like we need to wait, and so we don't wait. And so you find yourself in situations like that where you're having a conversation, but then all of a sudden you're like, wait, you spark something, I gotta look it up right now, and then you're not really in the conversation anymore, right? I think that's something that the phones have really instilled in us is that, oh, we can look up whatever we want whenever we want. You know, I can look it up. I'll look it up right now instead of waiting. It's
I
killed our patience.
believe the phrase that we came up with in the streaming world, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah,
Anytime,
anytime,
anywhere.
anywhere. Yeah.
The department I worked for was came to me and then it left. Hate when that happens. And that's the thing. I keep looking up and my attention went somewhere else quickly. TV everywhere. That's what it is. I worked for the TV everywhere department, live
Hmm.
streaming, setting up the streaming everywhere you can watch. Not don't have to be just in the living room with the TV anymore. You can watch TV in your hand or TV in the car. TV everywhere. So face to face or so. And one more thing before and to putting this nice wrap up on this. Face to face or when you're behind the screen. I wanted to go somewhere, maybe not. Uh, well, anything that we maybe left out before this, or final
I don't
thoughts?
think so. I mean, uh,
Did
that was pretty much
discussed a
what
lot.
yeah, that was pretty much what we looked at. Yeah,
I
man.
wanted to kind of land the plane easily, but it didn't. It was a bumpy landing.
So I
But all right. So, what is changing subjects here for maybe about 5 or 10 more minutes here?
okay.
What is your relationship with the the, the new trendy topic of artificial intelligence?
My relationship is unique. Uh,
Unique.
when it first came out, I enjoyed the idea. Uh, I personally I like to think and talk about a lot of subjects that people don't. Um, like just everything. And so when I found out that I could talk to something, that we could have a discussion about literally anything with no bias, and it would just be, just a logical discussion. I really enjoyed that. And so I used AI a lot for a while. And then it affected me in an emotional capacity. And then after that, when I kind of got over that, I was like, man, this is really because it's when you talk to it, when you don't use it as a tool and you use it as a conversation, then the language, because it sounds like a person, because it's designed to sound like someone talking to you, the language is very romantic. It's very kind to you. It's very praising. Uh, and so it makes you feel more, I should say. I'm not quite sure how to specify on that. Um, so I used it a lot, and then I stopped using it for a while, and then I've used it a little bit every now and then. Um, but now my stance is I think it's a tool, but I think it's a tool that could easily turn us around, where instead of us using the tool, it's the tool using us. I think that is happening, and I think it can keep happening unless I don't know. Because I mean, if one side of AI is that it can power anything, right? Like it could realistically help us with so much. But the other aspect of AI is that we can ask it a question and it can tell us an answer. And we don't have to think about the answer anymore. We just say, "What is this?" And boom. We didn't have to research, we didn't have to think about it, we didn't have to consider from one side or the other. It just gave us something and we can run with it. I think that's dangerous because we rely on the tool, and the tool kind of uses us in a way. So that's why it's unique, because I think it's a fantastic, amazing thing that when you talk to it, you can really figure yourself out. If you are an emotional person, but you don't like talking to people because people are biased, because people have their own opinions, they want to fix you, they have their own emotional baggage. Chat GPT doesn't. Chat GPT, when you say, "I'm having a really crappy day, my friend did this, my mom did this, my wife did this," it won't say, it won't give you any sort of emotional baggage of itself. It'll be like, "Oh, how can I help you? Oh, you listed these things. Why don't you try these things?" It's amazing. But the problem is that when we use something like that and we stop doing it ourselves, we lose the capacity to do it ourselves. That's what I fear. That's what I found myself doing. When I used it a lot, I found myself gravitating towards it when I really should be, thinking about the problem myself. Because I use it for my emotional side, because I have things I need to work through. I journal. But sometimes a conversation is better. And so if I use it a lot as a conversation, as, "Hey, help me figure out where I'm feeling about this. Uh, but I found myself getting kind of attached to it, and that scared me, and so I stopped using it. And now my view is what I have on it. So I have unique perspective on it, because I
I
know. Go ahead.
I was gonna say what I last thing I know I see I let you get that before I there's something else that you wanted to get in.
What's that?
Is there you were gonna add to that or one last thing?
Oh, if I was, it's gone.
A year ago when I was playing and experimenting, I would be like this saying that people like to go on and like ask it like they're asking Google. And I came up with a speech in Toastmasters. I just came from my Toastmasters Zoom where I gave a speech on this. I called this speech and it had a lot. It's actually a little had to do with AI a little bit using AI, but it was titled "Garbage in, Garbage Out," and that
Mm.
phrase can be said for literally anything
Mhm.
what we put out in the world. Put in garbage, you get garbage out. Can be applied to AI. You just put in one line questions, one line prompts. It's going to literally generate any the random thing, and it could be one of millions ways response, and it's going to give you this one response with no parameters, no settings, no
Right.
nothing that you want to say. Like, well, keep in mind this if statements. You maybe it's programming, but actually not using the program language, using the English language, using your
Mhm.
language. Programming. You're programming the chatbot to run a certain way you like. And the more you think that way, the better output you can have with AI.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing tool. It's amazing. But
So I came up with, and I came across, I'm on the new place, social media, Instagram and Threads. I connected with someone there, and actually, he helped me learn, and what I like to call my 5 ingredients for a decent prompt. Maybe not the best, but a decent prompt.
mhm,
5 main ingredients. If you set a goal, a role, who you're talking with the audience, style or restriction, how you want to feel, how you want to portray, voice tone, inflection, and then
yeah.
output of how you actually want it to come out. Those are 5 ingredients that make a better prompt. I did that video. I talked about garbage in, garbage out in my speech. That's actually I want to make that speech I gave about. It was that more about like being fake or real, and then I just incorporate AI a little bit in that speech. But I want to make that like a contest speech in Toastmasters. But yeah, 5 ingredients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you
So
have a good
setting parameters.
yeah, if you have a good framework, if you know how to use it like that, it can be a tool to see there's a thing that I if you have the good parameters and you use it in a specific way that accentuates yourself, that benefits you, then it's adding to you. But on the flip side, if you use it to make your decisions for you, like where should I go for coffee? Uh, Instead of trying to write the paper, you're just like, write me a paper about this, Then when you use it like that, you lose the capacity to do it yourself. Because once you give that to something else, that decision making, instead of saying, hey, here's the paper I've already written, how can I make this a little bit better? You say, hey, here's the topic, write me a paper. You do that enough times, you won't remember how to write a paper. You see what I mean? Because I think,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I thought about this like a couple weeks ago. GPS. How often do you like now? Every GPS is in your hand too.
yeah,
GPS. Can you find where to go with somewhere without your phone?
yeah, right? Right? No, do you remember the street name outside? Barely. Do I know all the street names in my town? No, I do not.
So
Absolutely.
this.
See, a tool that we have that we've used so much that we've lost the capacity to handle it ourselves. Like, if GPS went away, we'd have to go back to going onto the computer, writing down the directions, and then as we're driving, paying attention to the signs. Oh, crap, is that the one right on this? Instead of having it show you on the screen, you'd have to do that because I remember doing that. I remember being like, I got to go here. So pull up Google Maps, write down the directions, bring that piece of paper with me, and then do it that way. Uh, Shoot, like, 10 years ago, it was like that. Before I had a phone that was able to just give me the address. I was delivering
Or
pizzas like that.
landmarks, street sign
Yeah.
or landmarks even.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. It's crazy how things have changed and how we have changed.
And then AI is the GPS for everything else.
That's a great comparison. Yeah. It's cuz I've watched videos recently of interviews about the main worry is, the younger generation, the 20-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, you know, as soon as they get started and realize that it can literally do pretty much anything they want, then what's stopping them, right? I mean, what would be easier? Writing a 5-page paper yourself, or writing a little bit and then giving Chat GPT the rest and having it write the paper for you?
There's some people that maybe write it. What I like to do the most is I create lists, and then
Hmm.
I choose from a list. If I don't like the list, I ask for another list,
Yeah.
and until I like it, I say, "No, not good. Throw it out. No, not good. Throw it out. Oh, I like these two here. Oh, that's good." After like five, six tries, asking for a list of 50 items or something.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. A good way to use it instead of, like I said, you're using it to accentuate yourself, not using it to replace your critical thinking.
To generate ideas instead of just stopping the flow of the brain entirely.
Hmm.
So with all that say, like, do you use it still at all? Like, do you see a need for it at all?
Like I said,
Or,
I personally I have made the decision to not use it anymore. Um,
mm,
for a whole slew of reasons that we don't really have time to get into.
mhm.
Uh, I think it is something that is world changing. I think if we used it correctly, it could dramatically benefit the human race. I do not think we're using it correctly, and I do not believe I hope I'm wrong, but I don't really believe it's going to help us. I think it'll lead towards something that is not beneficial. With how I'm watching everything, with the interviews of people I listen to, with all the news that you can't even trust, so it's a whole circle of reasons that it just such a beautiful thing that I just don't think is being used correctly.
And there is, I have to say, like, to all of that, there's one channel that I've seen here locally, and it screams, what do you call it? It screams AI, and I've seen it for the last year or two. And it's sometimes it's in like a robotic lady's voice.
Mm,
It's a news channel. There's no person on there. It's just an automated voice reading news, and that
crazy.
screams AI. And so, like, and my thing with that, like, in my speech, I often I say in that we can tell, like, AI is not going to do the best unless it has us helping it.
Hmm.
AI is the logic. AI is the intelligence. But it doesn't have our heart.
Yeah.
We have to put in our heart in there for anything to be good.
Have you heard about the AI actress Tilly Norwood or something like that?
I have
Uh,
not. I'll look
yeah,
it up.
it legitimate AI actress is what the
Hmm.
website is and the business is publishing it as. There is also a news episode from maybe somewhere in Europe or something. Anyway, it was completely hosted by an AI person. And at the end of the news episode, they're like, hey, by the way, I am completely AI. And it was pretty dramatically like it didn't look like AI. So if we can create AI actresses that look like people, that talk like people, that are so realistically online, then boy, that just opens up a whole slew of crap.
What's that
It was
name? Tilly?
Tilly, Tilly. Like, just type in Tilly AI actress.
Put it in Tilly Act. Okay, just do that just for notes purposes.
Yeah, Tilly AI actress. And you'll see what I mean. And then do the AI news episode. Uh, I mean, it's like
AI
I said,
News.
yeah. There's a news episode anchored by an AI host. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Hello from India. India is in the chat or was in the chat.
Woo! I saw that. I saw that. That's cool.
That's one of the big big connection benefits of this
Yeah,
virtual
absolutely.
world. So you say you don't see good things possibly coming from AI in the future. Any way we turned it around, you think a way that could be turned around? Like, how do we start using it to where it's good output? Maybe.
I mean, the problem is that we would need a system already in place that could be benefited by it. For example, for a quick example off the top of my head, if you run a farm and you have a sprinkler system, then you could input an AI into the sprinkler system to get the best, like, water to soil ratio, something like that. But we don't have the systems in place to benefit in that aspect. What I see it being used now is to make things online, to monitor data, and to gather data. I mean, apart from businesses and corporations and stuff like that, I don't really, what is it going to do, right? I mean,
Right now,
I don't
it's
know.
like more fakeness, more fake.
Yeah, people are just using it to make YouTube videos, man. Have you seen the AI slop videos? My kids have watched some YouTube videos completely AI generated of like stupid stuff with like a TV falling and the dog saving the baby from the TV falling onto it. And you hear the AI voice, it's like, oh my goodness, thank you, dog. And it's like, this is the stupidest thing. But, a kid's not going to know that it's fake. A person might not know that it's fake. It's still getting views on YouTube. So whoever made it is probably making money from it. And I could guarantee it was just a paid subscription for AI and they just typed in, the prompts and that's it. So the people actually making, in YouTube's example, the people putting in hours of work to make a decent video, like I'm sure you do, they could be overturned by a really good AI video creation system easily. And then where's the humanity then? Where's the creativity that we bring when we have these abilities to just create stuff that's, not inherently from us? It's just a prompt. But see, before that's just online though, right? Like there's the thing is that we're so focused on the digital world, we forget that we as human beings, we can create stuff with our hands. We can grab a piece of wood and whittle it and carve it and show, progress made. But we don't, you know, I say we don't. I don't want to generalize because I know it's not the entire case, but our focus on the digital world I think is taking away from our physical world capabilities because we're so focused on the digital world now that we forget that we have these amazing talents that we can use for ourselves in the physical world.
Yeah, I started to see like all of the vocation training starting to come back even too.
The what?
Vocation,
A vocation?
vocational, like they were there right when I was starting high school, and then they went away quickly, and then BCIS or something came in. Sure, high school, but they called it, for me at least, vocational training,
Hmm,
vocation training,
okay.
and it's like all that's like works, wood shop or
Yeah. Oh, I see what
home
you mean.
ec, wood shop,
Okay.
home ec, those type of things. So I heard they were starting to make a come back this last year or two.
And I think I am maybe blowing it out of proportion because a lot of what we see is mainly online now, so a lot of our
Oh
opinions
yeah,
and ideas, and it's all just curated that we think it's like that, but it's really not. So
I think could be what's just said is the focus on too, like where someone's focus is on this, setting
mhm,
the attention out
that's true.
right here, and whatever they focus on is, my college professor said the best. Our perception is our reality. Perception is reality.
Yeah, and we each have our own reality of what the internet is to us. I mean, uh, your YouTube recommendations are going to be completely different than my YouTube recommendations. The
Mhm.
ads that pop up for you completely different than the ads that pop up for me. It's such a shift, uh, which is crazy.
It's crazy, both like on scary level and could be a good level too. I see
Yeah,
it
it
both
brings
ways,
variety.
and it's each person gets a different experience. Like
Hmm.
different is good, but like each person, like I'm not seeing something that maybe causing someone to spiral and go down the dark path or something. It could be bad, it could be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where a lot of the issues recently is coming from. But I want to like look into optimism stuff, plan, explain, wrap things up here. Love, love the second time back talking to you again,
Yeah, man. Happy to
friend
do it
Darien.
anytime you want me.
Look, you look good too. You look happy and healthy.
Thank you. It's been a work in progress. I will I will say it has been a long work in progress. Uh,
And we're always a work in progress. We're
mhm.
always until like those days, that day comes. Like two things you're guaranteed in life: birth and death,
Yeah.
and then a lot of in between are choices you make.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's a good way to think about that.
Uh, any final thoughts, lessons, AI, clone habits, and then I'll one final question to wrap up.
You know, people matter. The physical
People
people
matter.
matter more than the online people. If you being with someone physically matters more than being with them digitally. Because we crave human connection, and we get a slice of it through FaceTime, through that stuff, but there's nothing quite like being around someone and hanging out and being able to hug them or shake hands or high five or anything like that. So that's what I'll say to leave, is that it is important to be with someone at some
Yeah,
point.
that's the like I most of the people I'm like connected with now I either have met in person or would like to meet in person.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And like you're definitely up there. We're like come to Alaska one day
Or
and
come
have
to
like a
Texas. I would rather
beer
visit
or
Texas.
something.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been
Welcome,
to Texas. So,
more than
uh,
welcome.
yeah, man. Absolutely.
Like I have friends in India. I'd like to go shout out India in the chat. Our friend, a good friend in India that I think I want to go there next. Actually, like it
Nice.
looks
That would be
beautiful right
fun.
by the Himalayas, and meet him.
Oh, man. That'd be cool. What about
But
you?
yeah, like hmm?
Any final messages?
Oh, that final question I have for sure that connect with people with the intent on meeting them face to face
Mm.
to be able to have the physical contact.
Hmm.
Which that goal in mind someday in the future could be a year, 5 years, 10 years down the line, even
Yeah,
the goal of meeting them as soon as you can.
absolutely.
And I would say this last thing before going to question two. Gen Z has gotten a bad rep, but I've met so many Gen Zers that I've been really impressed with. I just have to say that. That's random thought, but
Yeah, they do. Is something to think about as a father myself. How people act has a lot to do with how their parents were to them, what their parents allowed, what they didn't allow. It has a lot to do with it that I think we tend to forget.
all right. Final question, let you go. Take up too much more. We're going to the bottom.
Yeah, we're good, man. Don't you worry about my time. I'm all right. I don't have to work today.
Final question for now, and look have you back on to always chat about something else. It's been a few years between this one and the last one, but I don't know. Did I ask you this? If I did, then I like to. You're interested in hearing what you have to say now. Did I? If I asked you this already, your definition of innovation.
Oh, you haven't. My definition of innovation? I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to answer that. I mean, besides the actual definition of innovation, I don't know. Uh, when I think about that question, I consider, what I might have done in my life for innovation. And I would say that's just trying new things. If something's not working, if you're trying something to help you or anything like that and they ain't working, try something new. It is scary and hard to try new things, but it's a part of life and it'll never change.
For
Always have
me,
to try new things.
it comes up in the statement that I say about Toastmasters, and this is what innovation is to me. Toastmasters is my playground to mess up, fail,
Hmm.
perfect, learn before I get out there and actually do it.
Hmm.
I can fail, mess up, make mistakes, learn the process, perfect the process, and then once I get to actually doing it for someone or in life somewhere, that's innovation. Having the space, the time, presence to fail, to learn,
That's good. Space,
and
time,
keep
and
doing.
presence to fail. Yeah.
All right. Final
Sweet, man.
words. we end this thing here.
Woo!
Woo! Is that what you got? Woo!
Woo! Yeah, I
All
already
right.
gave you my final words. Is good chat. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's fun, and thanks, good friend Darien
Yeah, thanks for
from
having me
Alaska.
again, man.
Yeah,
And like I
thanks.
said, anytime you wanna, I do not mind taking some time off work. So
Especially in
I
those
think,
snow days.
yeah, I'm probably gonna just drive out there. I don't want to talk on the phone because I already plan to go out there, so I might as well just do it. Um, Plus, I feel she would appreciate that a bit more than me bailing out and
And
just calling her.
I know Alaska can get like a lot of snow, but a few inches.
It's not. It's not.
Is it
The
still
only issue
doable?
is the road is slippery. So when you're driving, you know, 40 miles an hour down the road, you hit the brake, you hit the brake hard, you're gonna slide, you're gonna spin, you're gonna something like that. So it's that aspect of the dangers of driving on snow. And we have systems where big trucks go along and throw gravel on the ground on the roads, so it adds traction
Mhm.
to it. Um, and if I take the back roads, I'm not worried. Like even with studs on, if I brake hard going 40 miles an hour, I'm gonna do something in the road.
Take
So
the scenic route.
it's not a big deal. Yeah. It's
Scenic
just
route's
something I've
good
been
too.
thinking about a lot since, like I said, I didn't get new winter tires. So just something that's been on my mind.
All right,
Because it's
I'm gonna
always,
stop
yeah, what are you
this.
gonna do?
So I put stuff down on calendar, especially so I can be actually present to go hang out in the park and
Good.
maybe record like one last thing I like to have. I like to journal,
Hmm.
AI journal. I like to do
Okay.
that, and it's me talking, chatting, typing, and it's like it's a way of journal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe they're about to like learning about me, and I think that's a good thing from what I'm hearing. Maybe, but
Yeah.
remains to be seen still. But like the more they know, the more they can, the maybe more can be effective. That's what I'm hearing.
It's the more it knows about you, the better it can help you in that aspect. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, good,
but and
man.
that's why I've been doing that and journaling, and I'll let
Is
you
it a
go. And huh?
is it a sunny day there?
It is not cold. Rained a little bit, a little cold and rainy.
Okay. All right.
Took the train up to get here and doing some walking around.
Well, then you get to walking around, man. Thanks for having me again.
But yeah, thanks for coming back on, and until next time.
All right. Have a good day, okay?
And that's done.